What's up, YouTube? This is your big bro, King Jabez, back today with another very important message. Please subscribe to my channel, like this video, share this video, leave a comment, let me know what's taking on my content. In addition to that, please feel free to follow me over on IG, the King Jabez. And for those who want to talk to me one-on-one, I offer consultations. Whatever you do, I will appreciate it. Let's work. Today's video, I believe I gave it the title, Chosen Ones. You've had a really huge impact on a very important person, which means that your reach is much further than you think. And so I'm talking today to a lot of people. I'm talking to people who create content. I'm talking to people who do music. I'm talking to people who have their own business, who are in leadership in any capacity, whether you be a manager, supervisor, entrepreneur. You have anybody following you for what you're doing, whether it be through your vocal skills or through your business skills. Most abilities really are divided into two categories, really: speaking and ministering. So speaking gifts, whether it be music, singing, of course, a public speech or a talk or wisdom or prayer, whatever it may be, or actual work in terms of business, administration, behind the scenes, which is necessary. Because nothing's getting done without you people. Let me say that. Let me speak to everybody who's behind the scenes. Shout out to y'all. Because of y'all, ain't nothing getting done. Somebody has to take care of the paperwork, the business, make sure stuff is legit, legal, lined up. Someone has to be there to cross all the T's, dot all the I's. That is essential to any organization, movement, business, etc. So I'm talking to everybody. All y'all. If you're a person that never says a word, this message is still for you. See, people often focus on someone like me because I'm the one online speaking behind the mic and got the followers, right? But there are a lot of people who don't get behind the mic. They're behind closed doors, standing on business. And shout out to all y'all too who make things happen, because that's a part of the reach. Because without you, the reach isn't quite there. Does that make sense? So I want to encourage everybody who is working. That's the bottom line of this message. You're working on something, whether it be a degree or a project or a job, 2 jobs, raising your children. Everyone hearing this message should be working on something. And if you're not, respectfully, that's the problem right there. Get to it. I'm a big brother, right? So you call me big bro, right? Big bro. Get to it. Get something going. I'm not saying you got to be known or famous, but get something going. Do something. And that will lead to progress eventually. And this is in alignment with the wisdom of the ancient king Solomon. Solomon taught to sow your seed, paraphrasing, in the morning, and in the evening withhold not thy hand. For who knows which one may prosper, whether this one or they both alike may do well. And of course, this is my paraphrase. What is King Solomon saying? King Solomon is saying, get to it. Basically, get to it all day. If you're grinding in the morning and grinding at night. Right now, this is morning where I record my content during the day before it gets late. I'm going to leave here, probably go out there and get my steps in. I try to get 10,000 steps each day. I'm not always successful there. I'm not perfect. But I shoot for 10 to 20K every single day. In fact, you have an app on your phone. If you have an iPhone, whatever phone you got, you can get an app to track your steps. Track your steps. Let me give you some free game real quick. Because some of you saying, big bro ain't going to the gym every day. You don't go to the gym. That's fine. You don't have to go to the gym to be fit. It obviously is easier there because they have the equipment and tools necessary to do that. But you get yourself in shape by doing calisthenics at home. Pull-ups, push-ups, walking, running for the ladies. Walking for the ladies. Do something. So let me put that out there too. Everybody doesn't have to be a bodybuilder or a trainer, okay? But we all need to be healthy. So let me give you that, some big bro giving all type of advice. So let me give you some free game. If you want some fitness advice, start walking. That's something that we all have to do, whether you are training like me or whether you're a person just wants to stay in shape. So you ladies who are hearing this message, you work all day long. Ladies, when you get off work, go take your walk. Get you some fresh air. I know you're tired. I know you're stressed out. Go get some fresh air. As grandma and granddad used to say, go touch some grass. That's what they meant by that. They were trying to give you some wisdom. Going outside improves your overall mood, health, fresh air, the sun. You know the vibes. When you're outside with the sunlight and the fresh air and the animals that are outside, the birds singing, All that's good for your mental and physical. So I suggest you get that every single day. I have never taken a walk outside when it's nice outside, like today, for 10 to 15 minutes, then feel better afterwards. So there you go. So all of this is a part of you having an impact, because you can't have an impact if you're not healthy, right? You want to be healthy to be your best version of yourself and to go forward. The reason you're having this impact is because you have in you something called virtue. And that virtue means power, ability, might. You have a power, ability, and might in you given by the Most High. And when people are in your presence, they feel that, right? That is having a huge impact. So that tells me there's someone watching you who is known. Someone watching you who has a big following in some capacity. In your words, your actions, you are influencing them. It's just clear. Even looking at this history itself, people are influenced by somebody. So don't be surprised if somebody starts dressing like you. Don't take it personal if someone starts to imitate some of your mannerisms. Don't take it personal if people begin to do some of the things you're doing. When you're living your life, people see that. And you're going to influence them. So some of you are influencing people that you didn't think would follow you. And they are. And so I want to encourage you to understand that you have more influence than you think. Well, I think back just a few years ago when I had a smaller following. Not that I have a large following now. When I had a smaller following of 2,000-3,000 followers on Instagram, I asked some celebrities to reach out to me, messaging me. That was at that level. A couple thousand. I'm close to 100,000 now. But my point is this. No matter what level you are in the game, when it comes to public content, whatever you may be doing, and not just content or just a public page for business, whatever it may be, whether some of you just do modeling. That's fine too, by the way. You ain't got to say a word. Some of you, that's your niche. You got to find your own lane. Some people, that's perfect for them. They put the outfits on. They have a disposition, a picture, an image, a beauty people admire, and that's their lane. If that's you, run with that. Whatever the case may be, you may be a lady watching this video, and you have 2,000 followers. You'd be surprised who's following you, who's watching you behind the account. Okay, if you got 2,000 followers, you may have some known women watching you getting ideas. Okay, that's how the game works. So I want you to be encouraged that your life does matter. For the ladies who hear this, for the men who hear this. You're doing fitness content. You got 1,000 followers. You might have a cat that got 200,000 following you, getting inspiration, getting some ideas. That's just the way it works. And so when you're doing anything successfully on any level and it looks good, people are watching. And you can't take that personal. You can't. In other words, you got to be careful thinking that everyone who does what you're doing is just hating. Maybe they're inspired. Sometimes people are just inspired by you. We got to be careful thinking every time someone does what we do is hate. It's not always hate. Sometimes they are inspired. Sometimes you motivated them. You gave them, man, I can do that too. And honestly, at the end of the day, isn't that kind of what it's all about? Shouldn't we be our brother's keeper? Shouldn't we be our sister's keeper? Shouldn't that be the goal in the first place? Right? Because if not, then, honestly, why are we doing this? This is just me having an honest moment. Okay, why am I doing this? Why am I talking to you on this microphone? If this is not to help you, what's the purpose of all this? It's a waste of my time. Just doing something to be doing something. But I understand I do this because there's a purpose behind this. These talks can give you some motivation. These talks can give you some insight. They can help you on your real journey in life. And the same applies to what you're doing. Whatever it is that you're doing, you are inspiring and motivating somebody. In some cases, it may be just your children, which is enough, by the way. Okay, I got you. If you say, no one's following you, your kids are. I'm going to get to you eventually. If you got sons and daughters, that's enough motivation by itself. That's plenty. To keep it real, all this other stuff is extra, honestly. This is all extra, the online and everything else. Your immediate family, gang, that's where it starts. It starts at home. Okay, you don't want to be a person that saves the world and lose your own family. That happens to a lot of men too, by the way. It happens to a lot of women as well. So don't get so caught up in the number games of social media and social currency that you forget what really matters. Now, this is going to sound old school to you now, but there was a time in life before social media, before all of this, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all this stuff, right? Where The average person, their life consisted of about 50 people that they knew. That was their reality, period. They were not worried about what's going on overseas, in another country. That was a time in human history when your circle was very small, and that was pretty much all you were concerned with. About 50 people. That probably was a grandma, granddad, mama, a few cousins, a few friends in the community, your wife, your husband, a few children, and that was your whole life. And, you know, honestly, there's really nothing wrong with that. When you think about that, that's really a good life. You know, because honestly, and this is something some of y'all may not be able to receive this. Some of you can receive this, some of you won't. But for those of you who can receive this, a simple life is a good life, actually. Not saying you can't have creativity or adventure or travel. I'm not saying that. There's a time and space for all of that, by the way. Nothing wrong with excitement. Okay? Having a life. I'm not saying you can't have a life, because some of you you're hearing me say you can't have a life. That's not what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Removing confusion and the complications that comes with too many people in your world is a good thing. You know, I'm not really around a lot of people every day. I'm not. I'm pretty much around my family. That's about it. In the gym. Other than that, I'm working primarily by myself. Business, reading, meditation, work, do some traveling for business, that type of stuff. But I'm not the guy that has to be around a lot of people. That's not always good for you. Now, if you are that person, that's fine. I'm not telling you to be me. We're all different, by the way. But some of you just like me. You know, there's a time for that. But there's a time where, you know, as I've been teaching for years now with this one, and this is not my original thought. This comes from Nikola Tesla, genius, inventor from time past. Nikola Tesla said that we should be alone. He said that being alone is the secret to genius. How do you think Nikola Tesla came up with some of those ideas? He would literally sit in a room and meditate. He would literally sit down and meditate and come up with all these ideas, different inventions. You know, inventing the alternate current, AC, right? I forget what else he did. I'm sure he did a lot more than that, obviously, but he had a lot of inventions. And he would literally sit down and just, I guess you can say, I don't know, say telepathically, maybe. Telepathically, intuitively, I don't know. Through visualization, meditation. You know, these are all means, by the way, of creating ideas. This is how you become a creator. I'm trying to give you some free knowledge now, okay? You become a creator by being alone, not by being a copycat. let me say that again. You become a creator. I know some of you get mad, receive this. You become a creator by being alone and coming up with your own thoughts. See, some of you, you're not alone enough to tap into your true genius. That's how you figure out new stuff. That's where invention comes from. You know what it comes from? Right here. Your own mind. Not some person you just copy. So what am I saying? Spend some time meditating. Visualize rather. That's in a book, Think and Grow Rich. That's what I'm thinking about. Visualization. When you visualize your life, I do this pretty much every day. I spend probably about a half an hour every day doing that, just visualizing my future and goals and ideas and getting excited and getting motivated. That's healthy. Because the vision starts here first. That's how the vision becomes reality. Now, the vision stays there if you don't put any footwork into it. But I had to visualize it. You visualize it, then you actually got to do it. But it starts in the mind first. And you write that down. That's why I tell you guys, keep a journal. That's the purpose of a journal. Not just writing down what I ate today. Because I know some of y'all think it's just something simple as that. That's fine too, by the way. You got a fitness pal for that, by the way. To track your calories and you know, nutrients and whatnot for the day. I do that too for health purposes. But the purpose of a journal is to write down your journey, ideas, thoughts, which you visualize for your future, ideas, plans. And from all of that, you're going to have something very powerful that can change the world. And from that space, you will impact some people that you wouldn't even think you can impact. You will reach some people that you didn't understand, even know you had the capacity to reach. And that's what this message is about today. So I hope you all appreciate this message. I hope you get something out of this. I want to say this again. Chosen men, chosen women. As I close this, your reach is much further than you think. You're having a huge impact on a lot of powerful people. Stop underestimating yourself. Walk in your power. Speak your truth. Be the divine being God made you to be. That's all I'm trying to say today. Do you. That was a long way of saying do you. And that will bring magic to the world. That makes sense. So, again, thanks for listening. God bless. This is your big bro, King Jabez. Peace.